Blog Talk Radio.
Tell you how we do it. There ain't nothing to it. We're gonna get right to it. You ready? You ready? This is the ProMMANow.com radio network.
Oh my God. It's been way too long since we've talked to you, to each other. But tonight we're back. Two big events this weekend in the Ohio Valley area. Hard Rock MMA 68 goes down in Somerset Saturday night, Center for Rural Development. Elite Fighting Series 1 debuts in Dayton. Just so happens we're going to be at both of them. Gina Begley is going to join us here in just a few minutes to talk about her first fight in Kentucky in like 2 years. Pat Cornett's got a big title fight against Chris Teague. We're going to talk about the card. Then we're going to switch up. Head north to Ohio to talk about Elite Fighting Series with Rob Hanna, with Brennan Witcher, Hussein Hamoud. It's here. It's for you. We missed you. Thank you. We're back. It's Bluegrass MMA Live.
Now tuned into the motherfucking greatest.
Fighters first, fans always. The Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA. Broadcasting on the ProMMANow.com radio network. Brought to you by Bangtown Fightwear. This is Bluegrass MMA Live. And now, here are your hosts, Juan Valley and Kerry Thomas.
You could be anywhere in the world, but you're here with us. And we love you for that. This is Bluegrass MMA Live, episode 187 on this September 16th, 2014. As always, tonight we're sponsored by Bangtown Fightwear. Be sure you check them out over at bangtownfightwear.com. Follow on Twitter, on Instagram. Hit them up. It's what we wear. It's what you should wear. This episode is also brought to you by audible.com. Tons of audio books. I've went through 2 already. I will say if you are working in a creative space, you need to get your creative juices flowing or pumping. The War of Art will help you. If you're a procrastinator, if you're just having trouble getting organized, whatever, it's a good listen to get you going with that. Get a free 30-day trial and 1 free audiobook by going to audibletrial.com/ProMMA now. And with that, we are up and running. And, we've not done this for right at a month. And wouldn't you know it, Juan Valley is late. Late. I know it's no shock to anybody that tunes in on the regular, but he's late. He's unprepared. Let's see, what's happened since we've last chatted? Well, Juan was at Hoosier Fight Club last week, where Bilal Muhammad and Chris Curtis fought. It was a anticlimactic fight, to say the least. A lot of wrestling on Muhammad's part. A lot of frustration on Chris Curtis's part. If you've not, go over to BluegrassMMA.com. Check out the video of what happened up there. Curtis not real happy with himself after the fact. I think, he kind of made an ass out of himself. Through his mouthpiece. I think he's suspended. We'll see. Our friend Bobby Emmons took a fight on short notice. Always entertaining. Against just a powerhouse in Tom Schoaf. That fight was just posted. Hard Rock MMA was in Bowling Green last week. If you've not, head over to Hard Rock MMA's Facebook page. Check out all the fights on YouTube. He's uploading them from Saturday. About the time he gets finished, it'll be time to start uploading the fights from this Saturday. As I said, this Saturday I will be in Somerset for Hard Rock MMA 68. Juan's going to be in Dayton. We're going to talk about both those cards tonight. Looking ahead after that, I will be going to Charleston, West Virginia. Ruckus in the Cage, the first MMA show. It feels like shit in forever over in West Virginia. Michael Cochran versus Josh Blanchard's on the card. Adam Sepulveda, Chris Brown, Wes Lane. We're going to be talking to a lot of those guys next week. So stick around for a lot of those fights. If you're not, we got a preview. Some of the fights are listed up on BluegrassMMA.com. And somebody's trying to use my account on Blog Talk Radio. What in the world? Let's try this. If you're listening, you're not in the chat room. Or if your name's not in the chat room, take a second. Tell us who you are. We'll say what's up. You can tell us you missed us. Whatever it may be. Gina Begley's going to join us here in just a few minutes. As soon as Juan gets up in here. I always like him to ruin the party. Big fights on the horizon. Also, Bluegrass Brawl is back. NAAFS has got a big show on October 4th. Coliseum Combat on October 11th. October's stacked. Then we get into November with some big fights across the Commonwealth and beyond. We will be heading to North Carolina for Fight Lab on November 15th. I'm going to Pigeon Forge on November 1st. So it should be fun. It should be a fun time. If you head over to BluegrassMMA.com right now, you'll see that things have changed. The website in our downtime, it's not that we've not been doing, anything. We've been doing stuff. You've got a whole new layout. It should work on all your mobile devices, everything like that. Holy shit! 7 minutes late, Juan Valley.
Holy wow! Can you hear me?
You're just like a female, always late. It's not your fault. You had to restart your computer. I talked to you 30 minutes ago trying to set things up, had a phone call. Was it indeed Dana White that you were talking to on the phone?
So I got the exclusive after Jet Set Magazine got the exclusive. I got the exclusive with Dana White.
You snorted the cocaine out of the artwork, didn't you?
And the black tar and heroin. It's kind of like a trifecta of things. We're experimenting, trying it out, seeing how it was.
Black tar heroin is one thing. It's not two different things. It's one thing.
No, I said black tar and heroin.
Yeah, that's one thing. Black tar heroin.
You need to get used to the streets, my man. That's what you're. I know you deal in selling cargo. But it's completely different,
Whatevs. It's just glad to be back doing this tonight. I got a big show on a Thursday. I've been doing the knockout hour on Sunday mornings, trying to not lose my edge. I was just telling people about how I single-handedly have transformed the website into a thing of beauty. It was hours of coding and just it was hard, man. And Juan, he helped a little bit, but.
I mean, you're right. I mean, we haven't had a radio show in 3 weeks. The website was August 16th. The website has changed since that point in time. Man, it's like a whole new world. It's not the Aladdin song.
A whole new world.
I don't even know what to do. I'm kind of shy right now. Do I talk? Do I not talk? I mean, it's been so long. I forget how this works.
What do I do with my hands?
I say that too. Oh my God! So, real quick, the reason why I'm late.
Got Gina Begley in 1 minute, so.
Yeah, she can wait. Okay, she can wait on me. But with that being said, so we haven't done the radio show in a while. Last time we did, I used my Mac, and we had issues. It
sounded like awful. How do we sound now?
Right.
Do I sound better?
Well, I can't hear myself on the radio, but I can hear you. You said we, but yes, you sound a lot better. Honestly, you sound normal, not out of the difference. Man, this mother. God. So as I was going to say, I've been using my Mac for a while, and I haven't used the desktop computer, which I get better sound quality out of. Mainly because, and I think I know why, because the headset I'm using. The internet? I am hardline, but that's preferred. It's the headset I'm using. So the headset I'm using, it has a USB port, and it has the audio and the headphones and the microphone audio plugs. So it has 3 plugs. The Mac only has 1, so I feel like I lose quality when I only plug in the one and not the others. So I think I just need to get a new headset. We'll probably do it. Granted, I am using an Xbox headset, Turtle Beaches, for you out there, audience members that are familiar with that.
Turtle Beach.
I think I need to go to a more conventional computer type headset so I don't run into these issues, and hopefully the Mac will be excellent in that case, because I don't really use my desktop computer as much, and since I haven't used it in over a month, the updates haven't been done to it, and I'm like, went through all these updates right now, and it's what took me so long to get on. Now I'm having a Java issue. I'm going to have to restart, so you might have to call Gina here in a second. I don't know. Google Chrome isn't working. It's just tactic, man.
Well, get Gina on the line, and you handle your computer business. I don't need you for the interview.
Well, I love you too. How about them beans?
You know, little known fact about Juan Valley. Even with his Latin heritage, he doesn't like beans. That's weird to me. He likes mashed potatoes, but he doesn't like beans. This Saturday, I'm excited to get out of the house. I've been doing a lot of boxing coverage. I was at U.S. Bank Arena where I got my wallet stolen. In just a hectic crowd. The only familiar face I saw was Josh Snow, which I was glad to see him there. For the big Golden Boy boxing, Adrian Broner was up there. And then last week I skipped out on Hard Rock MMA to watch Floyd Mayweather. I'm almost a converted boxing fan. It's very sad to me. I don't know what to do about this situation, but I'll be happy to get back where I belong. Cage side this weekend at Hard Rock MMA 68. It's no stranger. One of my favorite gyms. Some of my favorite people hail from Richmond, Kentucky, AFS Academy. And I've got to watch them have another tremendous year. But one thing I've not got to do in the last couple of years is see my good friend Gina fight. She's fought in Ohio. She's fought in Missouri. She's fought in Colorado. But guess what, kids? This Saturday, she returns. I feel like it's like this big triumphant return to Kentucky where we can all go watch her and support her. It's fight week, and now we get to talk to her. Gina Begley, what's up?
Not much, guys. What's going on? Listen to the intro there.
Was that not, I mean, I feel like I'm a little wordy. I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands right now. I'm really not sure what's, with a month off, I feel out of place right now. You're going to have to help me. You're much more active than I am.
I'll do my best. Although I canceled my show last night, so my first interview for the week.
Good. Well, it's, we were there for your last fight in Kentucky, which was in 2012. Since then, you've been all over the damn country, and now you get to come back home. How awesome is that?
Not even a little bit, man. I'm nervous. I'm nervous, and it's like people are like coming to watch me, and they're like, "Oh, Gina's gonna be fighting," and I was like, "Oh, fuck!" Like I've been the bad guy, like coming in, no pressure, no, everybody's like waiting for some girl to come from Kentucky and take an ass whooping, and then half the time I win. So this time around, it's like, oh, it's you're fighting in Kentucky. I can't believe I finally get to watch you fight. And I'm like, oh, damn it, you're right, you do. So it's not even like I don't know, like I'm not. I mean, I'm excited, and it's not like I'm like, oh God, I better not fuck this up. But I'm a little bit more nervous, I think, than before.
you've got to be the unknown for so long, right? I mean, you've got to go play spoiler. You've got to go be the underdog. You know, you've got to have some cool experiences so far. But have you forgot what it's like to fight in front of your fans and, you know, your family and more people from the gym can get to come see you? Do you forget what that's like, or will it all come rushing back?
You know, I don't think it's going to be different. The only thing I don't really care for is, like, you know, I don't really – I'm kind of odd. Like, before a fight, I like to kind of lay down and almost kind of sleep and not really interact or be very sociable, and that's not really my character, I think, that a lot of people are used to when they see me out. I'm very sociable, very, very interactive. So, you know, I wonder how people are going to kind of react to that because I'm, you know, in my zone, I guess. But, you know, walking out to the cage and you're in the back, you're separate from everyone, I don't think it's going to be that bad. It'll probably be pretty weird to have, you know, a lot of people cheering for me. That's going to be, like, really different because there have been a lot of times when I walk out and it's like crickets, man, or, you know, an occasional boo. You know, my songs are playing and it's like, oh, boo, or nothing. So I think, you know, that'll be kind of neat to actually walk out with some people cheering for me, as opposed to, you know, kind of like awkwardness.
Speaking of awkwardness, hasn't it been kind of standard that everywhere you've went, they've screwed up your walkout song?
Yeah, that's kind of like the thing across the board. Like, every now and then they get it right and they'll play the walkout song I want, and that's, you know, fun. I think the last time it actually went right was in Colorado, maybe. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, whatever, this is what I want, and if it plays, it plays. Fuck it. I'm going to be like some of those guys that walk out to dead silence. It doesn't matter.
Some people, you know, I was listening to a podcast the other day where a guy said, you know, sometimes like the first point of the fight's won on the walkout. Do you subscribe to that? Like, do you think that plays any role into a fight? You know, it's easy for people like me to say that, but
after 6 weeks of training my ass off and dieting and, you know, cardio and technical training and all this stuff, I sure hope that a song isn't making or breaking my day. Like, that it is my prayer that that's not really having any effect really on the fight after all of the training that I've put in. So let's hope not.
Let's rewind to this year and like what's been awesome for me and also awesome for you, I'd say, is, you know, your gym has been so successful this year as well as last year. We saw Adam Fritz make his pro debut, Brandon Campbell, you know, Dustin Short. They both have won titles, in the recent, last couple months. And it's always been cool because they've been doing that for the last couple of years, and then you fought elsewhere. But now you kind of get to add to that mystique of AFS here in Kentucky to where people, Somerset's not really a great deal away from Richmond, but you got to get to represent your gym in front of potential clients, new fans, all of that. Do you think about that, how that all kind of culminates, and is there any pressure because they've been doing so well that you feel like you have to do well?
No, man, I'm the old lady of the gym. All of our other fighters are like 23 years old and, 22, 21, and they're like, oh, I'm sore. I'm like, I'm 33 years old. I don't want to hear it. So I don't really feel like there's any big pressure because they're succeeding that, I better not, have a bad showing in front of everyone or anything like that. I'm having fun in it, and I really enjoy fighting, and I enjoy like the whole career of mixed martial arts. Being involved in MMA has been more for me than just a fight here and there. It's been kind of a life-changing thing, and so to fight and to be out here and to put it on the line and test it out is fun. I have some women that are like doing my boot camps that I teach in, and they're all excited to come out and watch me I'm getting ready to start my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for women, and I teach a lot of little kids. So of course, I want to show that I'm good at what I do, and that I have the skills to pass on to them. But I don't really feel like, because I've been there, like when a teammate has lost or something like that, I don't really feel like I'm going to be really disappointing anyone if it doesn't go my way. It's not like I'm out here fighting some, tomato can that I'm supposed to walk through. She's got a good record. She's, basically almost the same as me. So anything can happen, and I really don't feel like it's going to be, some devastation if I'm unsuccessful.
You bring up a good point. A lot of people, in general, in mixed martial arts these days, they take the path of least resistance, right? And we see that pays off sometimes. Sometimes people will, I'm not going to say, tomato cans. For example, Deshaun Flyboy Johnson in the UFC went 10-0, never beat anybody with a winning record. He got to the UFC. He's lost twice within 2 minutes of the first round, but he's in the UFC. You have fought hometown girls that are undefeated. You fought people that had more experience than you, and you're fighting Ashley Rickard on Saturday, who for once, like, you guys are even, as far as the record goes. How is that, even not looking past anything, but like the way that you've conducted yourself in your career so?
Hi.
What's up? What happened?
No, what you doing? What do you mean what happened?
Well, my internet said, "Hey, let's quit for a second." Gina, hang up.
Oh, I don't know. I went to the other room. I had to get off here for a second. I just now got back. So wait, I'll call Gina.
All right. Wow. That was awesome. Aaron Garrett, can you hear me now? Aaron can hear me. All right. Well, just a minor technical difficulty. I don't know. I got a brand new computer. I got a whole new setup. Like, maybe one day I'll do like a studio tour of how this happens, how I do this. All right. Back to Gina. Gina, I apologize.
That's okay.
I feel like I'm wasting your time. My internet took a shit on me. My last question, I think, was, are you proud of the path that you've taken to get where you're at right now?
Yeah, I really am. Like, sometimes it's, when I look at my last fight, and it's like, I knew this girl was like undefeated, like 7-0, 8-0, or something, like 145, and I agreed to meet her at 135, which wasn't really smart. And at the end of the day, like, I almost won that in the first round by tapping her out. And I think about it sometimes. I'm like, damn it, that would have been really nice, but it was a really hard fight, the fact that she was really big, really heavy, and, I got a really hard fight, although I liked the pictures because my face looks all red and, like, beat up, but I think her red gloves were, like, the color came off on my face. But, when I look back at that fight, and I think, you know what, like, I remember her trying to look at the referee like, are you going to stop this? And me thinking, oh, my God, I got to keep moving. The last thing I want is to lose by, like a TKO, because I'm still active and I'm still trying. And, I think to myself, I'm really glad that I had this experience as an amateur, because the last thing that I want to do is step into a pro fight and, this big deal be made about it. And then I've never had a really hard fight. And now I find out that, I'm a little bit soft to, a little bit of ground and pound. And those things make me really happy to know that, I've been through some tough fights, some tough situations, and that I will keep fighting, and that I know myself as a fighter, and that I'm comfortable in the cage no matter what's going to happen. I'm going to be okay with that. So, the last thing I want to do find out when money's on the line or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm glad I've had the experiences, but at the same time, I kind of like to, won all those.
Oh, of course. Of course, you could be sitting at 7-0, but hey, 4-3 is awesome. That's the same record as your opponent. She's not been active in the last couple of years. What do you know about her? I mean, a lot can change in 2 years, as you well know. I mean, who knows what she's been into?
Somebody said that maybe she had a kid or something. I don't really know. She's not been active enough. Her last fight was against Jessica Zonchik, who was very good. She fought a lot heavier before. She's fought like Norma Ruda. She fought heavier. But, she was known for kind of being a bully. I don't know if she's changed her, to camp or anything like that. We watched a lot of her fights. But what can you really tell from 2 years ago? Like, has she still been training, or has she, taken a break? Like, what's going on? But sometimes tendencies to, stick with you. And, I can train from, what I plan on doing and win the fight with that. But, like you said, who knows? I don't really know what she's been doing. I didn't, I stalked a little bit, but and I watched all the fights that were available, but I didn't, try to get onto her social media and, find out too much. But like I said, I have friends who did that for me. They were like, oh, this is happening, that happened. I'm like, oh, okay.
You have minions.
I do.
One of the things that you and I have talked about that, the Ultimate Fighter, the current season is all 115-pound females. The only weight class, well, I guess the only other weight class now in the UFC is 135-pound weight class. When talking about the 125-pound weight class, a guy told me last week that's purgatory for women's MMA. Like, it's the hardest division to match people in. It's the hardest division to kind of get noticed. But this is a place that you want to stay, right?
It's a place where I kind of have to stay. I've not made 125 since October. I'm 5'9". I've built on muscle, and it used to be a little easier to make 25. Now it's getting harder because I've built on my foundation of what I had already. I'm a little too small. Like, even my bone structure and everything's a bit too small for 135. I'm competitive at 135. Like, I can take some fights there, and I can win some fights there, and I can do okay. But it's not really the weight class that really suits my frame and my fit very well. So 125 really is where I belong. Unfortunately, it's like the dark abyss of WMMA, where it's like, oh, will you fight 115? No, I'd have to cut my leg off and give it time to heal and learn how to train without it, and then we'll talk about it. But and then 135, like I said, I've fought at 135. It's a really easy weight cut for me. Basically, all I do is, like, eat and water load and, don't eat for, like, a day and make weight. But that's not really where I'm, best at, obviously. So, I don't know, like, I see other girls that I've fought have dropped down to 115. I see other girls that I've fought that have dropped down to 115 that are missing weight left and right. And it's just like, what's wrong with 25, man? Like, what there's other places to fight other than the UFC.
It's true. It's true. Some of my favorite fighters, Stephanie Aiken, 125. She's 115 pounds.
Oh, she's 115, and she has to diet hardcore for that too.
I always talk to her about Big Macs, and I feel bad afterwards because I've seen her cry and almost die. But this weight cut's going good, right? I mean, you're in the home stretch pretty much, or is it about to get hard?
I'm going to make it, but this has been a really hard weight cut. Like I said, I've not made 125 in like a year. I had 6 weeks out. I've been running a lot, and I'm bigger than I was last year. And I'll make it, but it's been difficult. I've had to diet really strict. Hating life some days. Ready to beat my kid when I'm like, oh, how's your food? I stopped and got you, a pizza or something. He's like, it's a little whatever. And I'm like, oh, my God, it smells so good. I'm going to kill you. But it is what it is, and I'll make it, but it's not been fun, and I'm really excited to go on Sunday. Like, I have an epic day planned on Sunday where I'm going to, get up, and I'm going to go eat breakfast at Waffle House and have a pecan waffle and their bacon lovers BLT and probably, like, their fully loaded hash browns. And then we've got training, and then I'm going to go to, like, this place called Madison Gardens that has these great burgers with these awesome fries with seasoning on them and drink some, beers and eat that. And then I'm going to go home. I'm going to, like, go into a food coma, and I'm going to get back up and go, like, at 6 to, like, this other pizza place that has this badass beer cheese pizza and another pizza called, like, a meat pizza. And I'm just going to, like, stay there until, like, they kick me out and I can't eat anymore and they won't serve me anymore, like, really good beer. Because right now it's, like, the fall when you can get, like, all the pumpkin beers and all that shit. It's, like, so delicious and so good, and, like, food's so good right now, and that's why you'll never see me fighting on Thanksgiving, because this stuff is too damn hard.
I knew somewhere you would work in pumpkin beer to that conversation.
Yeah, it's like my thing. I love it. Like, they've got some kind of shipyard that's new this year, and O'Phelan's, and all these places make this beer, like, with pumpkin. It's so good. The fall beers are the best. Like, spring and summer beers are okay. I don't like to, get drunk and hammered and act, retarded, but I do really like crafty beers, and this is the best time for them. And so I really feel like, I sit at lunch with some of my friends, that I'm missing out on some really good stuff right now. So I got some catching up to do.
Well, listen, the fight goes down this Saturday night, Somerset, at the Center for Rural Development. You've been there as a spectator before, but this time it's your time to shine. I'm excited and nervous. It's been a while. We get to talk about you fighting a lot, but I've never actually had to sit there and watch you fight, so it'll be different.
I'm about 2 weeks out, like, people say, oh, do you get scared? I'm like, I do. Like, I really do get scared. About 2 weeks before the fight actually takes place. It happens to me every time. It's like this panic, like, oh, fuck, this is getting ready to happen in, like, 2 weeks. And I'm like, like, you could just quit now and never do it again. I get over that, though. It's like, it happens to me every time. Like, I don't know why everybody else is like, oh, no, never. I'm not scared of anybody. I'm like, no, I do. Like, I get through, like, I go through this panic thing, like, exactly 2 weeks out from the fight, and I'm just like, oh, no. But I get over it, and then it's like the week of, I feel so confident and so good. And, I'm nervous because my people are going to be there, but, and maybe some of my people from Clay County. But I'm also very excited to get to fight, in front of my teammates and really, show that I have some skill. And I talk about it a lot. Now I get to show people that I actually do this, not, just talk about it on the internet, telling people if I won or lost. So I'm there.
Well, listen, we are pumped. I know you're pumped. Before I let you go, any shout-outs, any thank yous, any predictions, any smack talk? I mean, the floor is all yours.
Yeah, like, I'm going to win. I'm fully confident in the fact that I'm going to win. And, I don't have any doubt in my mind that that's going to happen. And I really want to thank you guys here at BluegrassMMA, because you guys have been super supportive and helped me out a lot. I'm surrounded by really, really good people, including, like, all my teammates at AFS. I have the best coach in the world, Scott Elliott. He's super knowledgeable and super helpful, and really, I have a lot of confidence in everything that I've been working on. And I have some of the best teammates with Adam Fritz, Emily Barkey, Brandon Campbell, and, Steve Morrell is, like, 5 feet tall, about like my girl, but he's, like, a really good wrestler. And he's been coming in to help me. So I really appreciate everyone that lets me, punch in the face and practice and does everything they can. All my ladies that come to training under me, I appreciate them. Triumph United for sending me some gear for the fight. And I don't know, Jason Adams is promoting Real Women. He's always super supportive. And just everybody that, everybody that supports me and lifts me up, and to everybody that doesn't believe in me and, doesn't want to see me fail, I appreciate you for giving me motivation too, and that's really it.
Gina Begley, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you Saturday in Somerset. Until then, take care. Don't bite anybody's heads off. And
I'll try real hard. I ain't jelly bean for nothing, though.
All right. Well, take care, Gina.
All right. Bye-bye.
There you go. Gina Begley. You can follow her on Twitter at GinaJellyB. Big fight this Saturday. Another big fight this Saturday that I'm excited for. I've got to watch both these guys fight. So much respect for these two featherweights that are going to fight for the Hard Rock MMA title. One of the challengers right now is with us, Mr. Pat Cornett. Pat, what's going on, man?
What's going on, buddy?
Man, I appreciate you taking the time out. I know it's fight week, and I know you're a busy guy. I got to say, I was, just kind of following you on Facebook, creeping on your social media, and you got an awesome opportunity to go out and train with Josh Clark in Las Vegas not too long ago, right after the birth of your child. Tell me about that experience to start things off.
Man, that was absolutely a blast, man. Just the experience alone, not even just about the stuff I learned, but just the experience of high-level guys, the top level, UFC, just to see how their work ethic was compared to what I'm used to. Growing up for my entire life, I had to work hard because I was a smaller guy. Playing baseball, football, basketball, wrestling, everything I had to work hard. So going to Vegas with Josh Clark, man, and seeing them guys work hard. We was getting up at 6 a.m. every day doing pull workouts, and then we go into the gym. Then we come back and eat a little something, and we go back to the gym. But to see the consistency, with the UFC at the UFC level, man, it's like I said, that experience alone, I got a lot out of. Just not even just the trip, but just seeing how consistent them guys was and how much they wanted it and how hungry they were to get better compared to what I'm used to right now, And I actually, before y'all called, I was on the internet looking at places in Las Vegas to try to move out there because, I just feel like in fighting and UFC and martial arts, it's not something you play. Like you can't, it's not ping pong or something. It's activity. Like you can get hurt if you don't take this serious. So, I feel like if I do want to go to the next level, I'm going to have to make that move like Josh Clark. So that's pretty much it about the Las Vegas thing. It was a really good experience, though.
You've got a couple unique experiences. You got that trip where I saw you with Vinny Magalhaes, Roxanne Modafferi, and then you got to take part in the first hip show down in Virginia. What was the 2-on-2 MMA like? Because that just seems wild to me.
Oh man, that 2-on-2 is definitely different, man. That's one of the most, I guess, unique things I've ever done, and I've done a whole lot of crazy things. But like I was telling my coach, Coach Mike, man, I honestly like that better than one-on-one MMA. And I know that sounds crazy, but it was just, you had to be on your toes, man. It was more athletic. You couldn't get a guy to come in there and just lay on you for 3 rounds and win a fight. It was, you had to be moving. You had to be agile. It shows athleticism in MMA, and it basically takes an MMA fighter and makes him be athletic. So it's like an American Ninja Warrior and UFC put together. You can't have some old lazy bump. But you can have a guy who's, a 145er, but he's just really strong. He'll hold you down for 3 rounds, and he'll win every single time. But, with that 2-on-2, you couldn't lay down because you would get stood right back up. You get a takedown, you can do a little ground and pound, but if you wasn't working, you get stood up. So, it was definitely a different experience, man, and I was excited to even get to be in that, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Looking back, I've seen a lot of your fights. You started off, 1 and 2. You looked strong in your debut, had trouble with your next 2 opponents, and then it's like somebody flipped the switch. You went on a tear and was so impressive in wins, not only around here, but you got to go to Georgia and fight. You went to Ohio and fought. You've really mixed it up in the places that you go to get experience. Was there something in your training or just in your mindset that changed after that loss to Derek Bird, where maybe you took it more serious, or just something, your mindset happened to change about MMA itself?
Yes, sir. A few things, man. I noticed that just like I've said before, is playing. Just an activity, and you get hurt when you don't take it serious. I was at Georgetown MMA, and me and Adam's cool, but I didn't feel like I was getting what I needed to at that gym. So after that Derek Bird fight, I really just took it among myself and said, you know what, if this is something I want to do, I have to get a little bit more better training. So I went to 4 seasons under Michael Dizzo, and that's when Michael Donald, and that's when Junior Browning was coming back this 4th season. He started training me, and man, ever since then, after that Junior Browning experience, man, I could tell my fight game went from maybe a C- or a D- all the way up to a B+. Just that fast. And ever since then, man, I've really just been allowing God to take me further and further in my matches, man. And, I also got more spirit. Like, I've been spiritual, but I allowed my spiritual to get even more stronger as fights progressed. And it became more than just winning a fight. It became, doing it because I'm blessed enough to do it. It became, doing things to help my opponents. Because at the end of the day, it takes a lot to get in that cage and fight. And I don't disrespect any of my opponents that I fight. And I've prayed with about my last 3 or 4 opponents. We have prayed before the fight together. I go up to them and I pray with them. I say, man, at the end of the day, win or lose, man, we're both blessed to be able to get in here and fight. And, we can't take anything away from that. And, just with that positive attitude, I've been able to respect the game a lot better than I did before my first 2 or 3 fights.
You had to take a little bit of a break because you're just so athletic, man. You were playing semi-pro football. What?
Yes, sir.
That's how did you have a football background going into your martial arts experience, or had you done martial arts growing up? What was the transition like? To your first MMA fight from the experience you had before that.
I played football in middle school, high school. I played at Georgetown College. And then I boxed a little bit in middle school and high school. I wrestled in high school. And, man, like I said, honestly, I'm just God-given, and I have a lot of God-given talents. And I just don't like to waste them. So if I try something, and I don't like to brag about myself, but I would try something, and I would just be good at it. And, you get people who have to train every single day for hours and hours, but I'm a really quick learner. So I can go in and, Coach Mike can teach me 2 or 3 submissions, and I'll pick it up that day. And they will just be stored in my memory. And with MMA, it was guys at Georgetown on the football team like, man, you should try MMA, man. You should just go ahead and try it, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I might as well go ahead. So I was already going to Georgetown College, so that's when I started at Georgetown MMA. And I got my first fight maybe 2 months after I started training there, man, and it took over ever since, and I liked it.
So you've got you're highly athletic, and you're a monster as a DJ. I've got to sit next to you while you've been DJing. How did that come about? You've got such a great story, man. It's so awesome. How did you get into DJing?
I've always loved music, man. My mom and my family, we love music. And I remember my freshman year of college, I was in my dorm room, and then the movie Four Brothers were on, and then my dude Winston from across the hall came over. He was like, man, you got effing skills. I was like, I like that name, man. And ever since then, everyone started calling me Skills. So when I started DJing, I just used the name Skills because that's where it basically came from, because I was in my room mixing songs together on this program that I just downloaded, and I just so happened to be good at it. And he was like, man, you have freaking skills, man. And then, that's where DJing took over, and ever since then, I just got better and better and better, man, and practicing, and now I've DJed for some of the top artists in the world right now, so that's a good experience as well.
What's amazing to me is, in the chances I've had to be around you, watch you fight, watch you DJ, pretty much anything, that you do, you always look so happy. Where does that come from? You're just like, you stay so positive. It's kind of contagious to be around you like that. Where does that come from?
Honestly, man, my great granny. It basically started like, I've been this way for my entire life, is because I love the fact that I get to wake up every single day and give it a shot. And I always tell people the key word in my life is just possibility. And the possibilities are endless. And you can't dwell on yesterday you know, because today is a new day. I can piss someone off yesterday, but today is just totally different. And just the, you know, the excitement I get in waking up and getting to live my life. And there's so many different people who don't get to wake up. There's so many different people who are in wheelchairs. There's so many people who wish they were in someone else's shoes, but they just can't. And I'm just blessed enough to be able to live this life I'm living. So, man, any opportunity I get to do anything, I'm going to do it to my fullest, and I'm going to be happy. And it's just different, man, because you don't have to be a bad A to be a fighter. You don't have to cuss all the time to be a fighter. You don't have to be walking around like all mad and bold to be a fighter, man. And you can see just my attitude's a lot different now from when I first started. Because I always thought, like, well, I have to be hard to be, you know, this MMA fighter. But it just, people respect me now. And like you said, it's very contagious to be around me. Because it's kind of hard for you to be like, oh, this guy's a douchebag. Oh, this guy's a this. You can't say that about Patrick Cornett. You just can't. Because there's not one time I won't shake someone's hand. I won't take a picture with someone. I sign kids' shirts. I mean, whatever it is. I also give water to the homeless, and I was doing that for a while, man. I just love being happy. I love being alive, and I'm just blessed, man, for real.
Big fight Saturday. You know, you're coming off a tough decision. You get bouncing back against a very tough Chris T. What do you know about Chris, and what would you tell the people to expect when they come to Somerset to see you guys throw down?
I don't. All I know is I guess he fought the guy. I mean, one of my teammates, Cody Smith at Bluegrass Brawl. I don't really know too much about Chris T. I respect him. He's getting in there on Saturday against me. I guess I try to look at it from his perspective and look at myself on YouTube and look at myself, and then I critique myself because I don't worry about my other opponent. I don't worry about what he's going to bring to the table because I know what I'm capable of doing. If I'm worried about what he's doing, that means I'm preparing myself to be on his level. And at, 23 years old and I'm trying to get to the UFC, I can't be preparing myself for any amateur's level around here. So if I do look at someone's videos, I'm looking at, Jose Aldo. I'm looking at champions in UFC. So as far as me, what I know about Chris T, man, I think he wrestles I think he's a wrestler. He's a pretty good wrestler. I talked to David Crow. David Crow said he's trained with him a few weeks ago, like last week or something. He told me I really wouldn't have a lot to worry about, but at the end of the day, this is MMA. It's a one-punch sport. You can take a guy who's 1-16 and put him against someone who's 16-0. He just get one lucky shot and knock him out. So I don't, this is gonna be an easy fight for me. All I know is that I'm prepared. I'm in shape. I'm physically fit. I'm blessed to even get in the cage, and I hope he brings it to the table and gives me a good fight. I don't want to take this belt easy. I don't want to say, oh, this was an easy fight, this was an easy belt. Me getting her a win in 25 seconds, I mean, that's not helping me out. And at the end of the day, I would also tell him, I'm going to give you a good look. I want him to give me a good look because we're still amateurs, and I want to get paid to do this, and I want to get paid good. So this isn't even about me winning this belt. This is another opportunity for me to go in there and just show people, that I love this sport and I love doing what I do.
Well, man, we are excited. The fight's just a few days away. Big title fight. You got another fight coming up after that. So a busy time for you as we head into the fall. Thank you once again so much for the time. But before I let you go, I know you've got a great support system behind you. I want to give you a chance to give any shout-outs, any thank yous, anything you want to throw out there to our listeners and your fans.
Well, first off, I want to give big thanks to God because without God, man, we wouldn't be able to be talking on this phone right now, and just opportunities that he gives me every single day. And if he does even give me the strength to wake up tomorrow, I want to thank God for that. I want to thank my sponsor, Lucky's, at Lucky's Auto Sport, my mom, my coach, Mike O'Donnell, Josh Clark, everyone at Syndicate MMA in Las Vegas, and I also want to thank Bluegrass MMA, man. I see you guys really striving to help out these amateur fighters. Without y'all, I wouldn't be able to talk on this phone right now either and try to get my name out there. But and also Chris T. I want to thank Chris T for this opportunity, man. There's a lot of guys who just turn down fights, and he's not one of them. And I really want to respect him for that. So, I thank Chris T for as well and his team. So, and Hard Rock, my bad. And I want to thank Hard Rock MMA for the opportunity for the belt. And that's pretty much it, bud.
Man, I think it's definitely could be one of the an early candidate for Fight of the Night. It's going to be awesome this Saturday night, Somerset, Kentucky, the Center for Rural Development. Pat, man, thank you so much for doing this. I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
There you guys go. Patrick Cornett, big fight this weekend. Hard Rock MMA, big card going down in Somerset. You'll find more at BluegrassMMA.com about the events and fight previews coming up. Main event, a female main event. Eva Johnson taking on Priscilla Brownfield. You've got Gina Begley versus Ashley Rickard. Derek Bird's going to fight. It's a really good card. I'll be there, but Juan Valley will be in Dayton, Ohio, where our next guest will be fighting. A guy that I've seen fight numerous times, never seen him in a bad fight. He's come on the wrong side of the judges quite a few times, but some of those were a little bit controversial. We'll talk to him about it right now. Mr. Stay in the Mood, what's going on, man?
How you doing today?
Man, thank you so much for taking the time out. I know it's fight week, but you got to be excited, man. You get to fight right there in Dayton on Saturday night.
Yeah, I just took that fight 2 weeks ago, too.
You know, I mentioned it in the introduction. I've seen you fight so many times, and I feel like, you know, that most of your fights,
yeah, you know,
they could have been a win just as well as it could have been a loss. What do you think about some of the decisions that you went through in the last few fights?
Honestly, right now I'm as an amateur. Like, if I didn't finish a fight and the judges decided to make me lose, that doesn't matter to me. That's just their decision. I can't really change that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, my last fight, I thought I won. The one before it, I don't know, really. Like, it was back and forth fight. But I think my sixth fight, I thought I won that one. Everyone thought I won that one because I knocked the guy down twice, took him down, reversed the takedown, did everything I could. But I still lost. Why, I don't know. But every time I've lost a fight, it was a hometown guy, too. So it doesn't matter. It's still an amateur. To me, it's a practice. Every time I walk in that cage, I'm just having a sparring match.
Now, do you get to be the home guy in Dayton because you train at Dayton MMA? Is that right?
No. Vision MMA Dayton.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you get to. It's actually you don't have to travel for this. So maybe you get to be the hometown guy this time.
Oh yes. This time I'm fighting in Dayton. It's gonna be a very exciting fight, but it's hopefully gonna be my last amateur fight too.
You've been fighting since what? The end of 2010. 23 years old. What's the biggest difference in the fighter we're going to see on Saturday and that guy that stepped in the cage back in December of 2010?
I guess the only way to find out to come and watch.
I like it. What's tell me about some of the people who are helping you get ready for this fight there at Vision MMA. I know there's some tough guys up there. Who's been your main training partners for this camp?
We got in my gym. We really got animals. We don't take it no easy. You walk in that gym from day one. We have people that walks in the first day, second day, and they just quit. They just can't handle the hard work. We're just hard-working fighters. And, all my teammates, I want to thank them all. Muhammad, which is Hurricane, Savage, Jamil, Joe Miller, Dave, Brad, everyone, all my teammates. If I didn't mention their names, they probably hear me right now. I want to thank them all for all the hard work they put in with us fighters.
You're 23 years old. You've been fighting. You've been super active. You're one of those guys. You like you said, you took this fight on 2 weeks' notice. What do you do when you're not fighting though? What do you get to do to relax?
I work.
Is
I
that
work
your
and go to school? Yeah.
So no time for shenanigans out there.
No time. I don't play around. Either I'm out there hustling trying to get the dollar, or I'm fighting.
I like it. So you say, you've got this fight Saturday. You're hoping to go pro after that. How many more times do you want to fight in 2014?
Honestly, I'm open for whatever fights. I've never, ever turned down a fight. And I've been up in Indiana I took a fight like in 2 weeks notice. And I went up there, and the guy didn't have a blood work or the guy didn't make weight. Well, usually I never had a problem with it not make weight, but they either don't show up or show up the day of the weigh-in, the next day don't show up. But I'm always open for fights. I've never turned down a fight. To me, it's just I'm doing it for fun. I'm not, it's just what I like to do. I like to fight. I like to be in a gym. I like to punch people in the face, I guess.
What do you know about your opponent, Talmadge Lytle, or do you even worry about that? Do you let your coaches look at them, or
honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never really creeped on any of my opponents because when I get in that cage and close that cage, after the first punch get thrown, everything just gonna change. Even if you have a game plan, that game plan gonna change. If you're gonna think you're standing banging, I might even wrestle that guy, and I don't even wrestle. Like, I don't usually take people down. I usually stand and bang. But, if I feel like I'm more comfortable on the ground, I'm going to take him down. I mean, I'm just going to let it be what it be. I'll be ready for whatever it is.
Awesome. Well, man, the fight is this Saturday in Dayton, Elite Fighting Series 1. Man, thank you so much for taking the time out with us tonight. Before I let you go, though, I want to give you a chance to give any shout-outs, any thank yous, anything you want to throw out there to the listeners. And do you have tickets for sale? If somebody wanted to come and buy some tickets, do you have those in hand?
I didn't hear you. What did you say again?
If you a shout out to anybody that's helped you, any sponsors or anything like that, and if they want to buy tickets, can they come buy tickets from you?
Yeah, definitely. First, I want to thank my teammate, Vision MMA Dane, everyone that at my gym, everyone that listening right now. I love you all. Thanks to everybody. I want to thank my sponsor, Your Fight. The name of the company is Your Fight. I have my shirts online right now, made like EPO shirts. They sweet shirts. You can go out on my Facebook page. It's Hussein Ipo Al-Hashmi, and usually all you got to do is just type IPPO, which is my nickname, and my name usually pops 9 times out of 10. It pops up. Say Hussein Ipo Al-Hashmi. My shirt's online on there. You can just purchase them. They're $20, and you can also buy long sleeves, short sleeves, tank tops, whatever kind of shirt you like, hoodies, whatever. It's all with Ipo shirt. They are red and orange. They're really sweet shirts. You can get on there. Shout out to my teammates, Joe Miller, Muhammad Abdullah, Nas Ford, Shamel, Dave, Brad, everyone at my gym that's there for me to help me. I want to thank everybody that's there for me, and I want to thank everybody that's listening right now, and everybody going to show up to my fight. I'm going to put on the show like I always do. If I'm in that cage, lose, loss, or win, he's going to remember me.
Absolutely, man. Well, I'm a huge fan. I always love watching you fight. We will be there Saturday. Until then, take care, my man, and we'll see you in Dayton.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
There you guys go. Elite Fighting Series 1, it goes down this Saturday night in Dayton. Don't go anywhere. The man behind the promotion, Mr. Rob Hanna, is going to join us here in just a second.
Tune in to Louisville's #1 combat sports show, The Knockout Hour, every Sunday morning from 9 a.m. until 10, right here on 1450 WXVW. Host Kelly Patrick and Gary Thomas bring you the top stories from the world of boxing and mixed martial arts. The Knockout Hour is brought to you by BluegrassMMA.com and the Kentuckiana Agency of Transamerica, the home of tax-free retirement.
Intimidation Clothing has proven to be the biggest supporter of local MMA in the industry, sponsoring the top regional events across the globe. While other brands come and go, Intimidation is a brand that represents stability, with over 110 different styles of high-quality t-shirts, hats, hoodies, training gear, and more. Browse our premium quality merchandise at IntimidationClothing.com and use Radio 10 to save 10% off your order. When you think local MMA, think Intimidation Clothing. Nobody supports local MMA like Intimidation. Nobody.
You're listening to the Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA. This is Bluegrass MMA Live. Now, once again, your hosts, Juan Valley and Gary Thomas.
Thank you all for sticking in with us tonight. I know it's been a while, but we are back. I feel like maybe better than ever. I don't know. It's too early to call. We still got an hour or so left. We're going to switch things up. Well, we're not switching things up. We're continuing on to talk about Elite Fighting Series #1. It goes down this Saturday at the Dayton Convention Center. Huge fight card. You're going to find all that information over at BluegrassMMA.com. But let's talk to one of the men behind the promotion. Usually he's the guy that's spilling the blood, sweat, and tears inside the cage. This time he's giving back to the fighters. He is Mr. Rob Handler. Rob, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, Gary? Just working hard, man, trying to get the finishing touches on the fight card and just working hard to make everything go smooth here this Saturday.
You've been that other guy. You know, you've been the fighter for so long. Now you're putting your promoter hat on. What's that transition been like for you?
Well, I tell you what, man, you don't really you can't really gain an appreciation for, you know, the promoters and the matchmakers until you actually go through it. And it's been quite an experience, and it's been a humbling experience, and it's a lot more work than I think, you know, people would think. So it's a struggle, man, but I'm having fun with it. I'm meeting a lot of people. I'm looking at things from a different perspective, and I tell you what, man, if I didn't love all the fighters, you know, before, man, I definitely appreciate them now, because without the guys, man, there's no event. So it's a humbling place to be for me. So
walk me through. I mean, you've had a super successful professional career so far, which I assume is not over just yet. But what was the inspiration behind, you know, putting your own promotion together?
Well, you know, Dayton's one of those cities, man. We just got that. We just have a lot of fighting spirit. There's definitely a market here in town. It's just a great city, and there's a lot of competitors and stuff. And that's not just Dayton. That's Ohio in general, especially the Southwest and the Columbus area. And what's been happening the past year is we haven't had any events going on here in town. And you know, the main promoter that was in town, he just, for whatever reason, quit putting on shows, and a couple other promotions kind of fell off over in the Columbus area, and there's just a need for somebody to step in and fill the place and get these guys some action. So, you know, I felt a little sense of responsibility to not just the amateurs but the professionals, and just give, you know, these guys that are, you know, committed to this lifestyle, and you know, I felt like, you know, those guys need to have you know, an opportunity to perform, and it just was needed to have another promotion. That's pretty much where I was at. And to be honest with you too, I didn't just do it for that reason. I did it for I personally wanted to be involved. I wanted to have more fighters around me. I wanted to build a team. I wanted to have a little bit more clout to as far as some of that decision making and the matchmaking process, and I just felt like it was the next level and the right move. So, I mean, that's where I'm at, and I'm having fun with it. It's exciting, and there's a lot of stress involved too. It's not all, you know, sunshine and rainbows, but we're working hard, and I'm figuring things out, and I'm learning, and I'm excited for this weekend.
You know, you mentioned there was a couple other promotions, and you know, it feels like it's been forever since there's been a show in Dayton, but you know, what is it? Why do you think that they're gone, and why do you think this opportunity is there for you now? Because, you know, I know Kerry Shaw did a show there that he's kind of abandoned. I think Mike Pat had a show there that, you know, they did well. You know, they did well, and he's not promoting now. What do you think led up to this opportunity for you to be able to put this show on?
You know, it's an interesting question. It's a complicated question, and you have to be careful when you answer a question like that. But the reality
you're in the hot seat.
The reality is that you know, for whatever reason, for whatever reason, the promotions that were in place, they kind of struggled their past few events, and that's all it takes. I mean, it doesn't. There's so much stress and so much, so much involved with putting on an event that if you have a couple, bad shows or a couple bad turnouts, I mean, that can really put you behind. And I can't imagine what it's like to be in those positions to, put all that energy and time and money and into a couple events, and they just didn't, you just didn't get the return that you needed, and for whatever reason, they just kind of lost interest in it. And I think that that's what had happened. I think that, I think that, it just takes a couple setbacks like that, and they can just really make you reconsider your position, and do you really want to keep doing it? And, a lot of the promoters, Mike Pat and Rick Powles and Kerry Shaw, I have the utmost respect for those guys. They've been doing it a long time. They've been in the business. But at what point, what point's enough's enough, So, I'm sure they have their reasons why they weren't putting on events in that area. But to be honest with you, I don't know their personal reasons. I just know that there hasn't been an event in Dayton in about a year, and I saw an opportunity, and I'm gonna give it my all. But I know that this Saturday Elite Fighting Series, we got a lot involved. We got great commentators, we got TV crews, we got hot ring girls, we got the venue, we got the Dayton Convention Center. I mean, I've got 20 fights in, and I've only fought in one nicer venue. That was the Nutter Center, and that was on Bellator. And I feel like I'm doing my job as being involved with the promotion and the event. I feel like it's going to be really nice, and I think it's going to be a great experience for all the guys fighting.
What from your standpoint, obviously there's ups and downs and challenges and what have you. What's been the biggest challenge for you in putting this together?
Oh, the matchmaking. It's constantly shit. Hey, let me tell you guys something. Matchmaking is the most stressful process that I've ever been through, and it's, I was fortunate as a fighter. I always was healthy, and I was in a position to where, I was committed, and when I was training, and I would ask if, my coach would ask me, "Do you want this fight?" And if I was healthy, and if it seemed like it made sense, I would be like, "Yeah, okay." And the reality is that things aren't always that simple. People are going through a lot of different things, but man, I've had a lot of it just doesn't end. It's never secure. It's not like you have a card, 3 weeks out or a month out, and okay, everything's matched up, everything looks good. It's constantly changing. It's just, and it can change in hours. It can. You can all of a sudden 5 of your fights are gone just in a few hours. That's how. That's what it's like. And the analogy I've been laughing about and kind of using lately about the process is, I play that Texas Hold'em, and I've sat down at a couple casinos, and I'm not a huge poker player, but I like to think I'm decent. And I've had some of those pots, reach up to a couple $1,000, $1,000, which to me is a little bit of money, and you feel a little bit of that stress, and that's not a fraction of the stress that this game is. It's just a huge poker game, and everything's a gamble, and it's a crazy game, but it is what it is, and if you can get good at it, then it becomes a lot easier, but I wish I had a lot more help. So, but I'm meeting new people and building new relationships, and I'm kind of figuring out how things go at this level, and it's definitely a different kind of game. So,
one of the things, you've obviously you got to fight at Bellator. You've had big fights. You know what the build up to a fight's like. You know what it's like after the fight. But you kind of went in a route where you really get to put the fighters on display. I noticed you did a pre-fight photo shoot for your promotional material. I see the individual posters that these guys and girls are getting. What are those extra steps, or what are some of those things that you wish had been done for you that you're actually getting to return the favor and do for the fighters on this card?
Well, I mean, I think I think it's sad, man, that, in this sport that, people can train so hard and put themselves through, so much and sacrifice so much. And, I mean, it's fortunate that, that some of these guys don't get, better, like, for example, I got guys fighting that came to me and started kind of preparing for the event, some guys that, just recently, came to the gym and stuff, and just little stuff like throwing them, like, hey, just by me building relationships and dealing with different sponsorships and stuff like that, you get some shorts, I get a shipment of shorts in or whatever, and I hand those out, and they just, they act like it's like the biggest deal ever, and it's just a shame that getting a pair of fight shorts, that those guys don't have stuff like that all the time. Every amateur fighter in this country should get in a certain amount of things, and some local sponsorships and getting some fight shorts and a T-shirt is like the bare minimum. So I mean, it's my job. I feel like as a promoter, it's my job to kind of help build those guys' profiles up, help get them some gear, get them a photo shoot. They deserve that, man. That's the name of the game. They should be treated with a certain amount of respect, and they need to build those profiles up, because if they don't have a profile and they don't have photos, and if they don't have all that material, then how are they going to make it to Bellator?
Absolutely, man. I agree 100%.
Or how are they going to make it to the UFC, or how are they going to make it to Invicta, or whatever it is?
A lot of people want to be promoters, but very few want to promote, right? Very few people want to actually hustle and promote their shows, and that's where I think so many promoters fail, is they don't take their title, they don't hold that responsibility of promoting what they've got.
And you know what I've been doing? I've been on the streets handing out flyers. I'm going to bus stops and telling any Joe Blow, hey, this is what's happening in your city, and have you ever been to a live MMA event? It's an amateur event, but it's one thing to watch something on TV and just kind of watch it with your subconscious and just kind of not really think it's real, but it's another thing to actually watch somebody get knocked out. It's also another, or watch somebody, to see how fast people move. You can't get an appreciation for MMA watching it on TV. You have to be there, and and that was another thing, that it was a big decision, but we offered tickets. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but we're selling tickets. We had a $20 ticket, and I did that because I felt like anybody that wants to go to an event should have the opportunity to go. And $20. I mean, I haven't been to an event, and I don't think I've ever been to an event where they had a $20 ticket. So we got a $20 ticket, a $35 ticket, and then we got some VIP seating. But the $20 tickets, I wouldn't be surprised if those go first. It looks like that's what's going to happen. Well, I got a few VIP tables left, and then and the $20 tickets are going, and then there's a little bit more of the floor seating, but. So I've been definitely doing the footwork, and absolutely. A lot of these promoters, they just depend on the fighters to go sell their tickets, and the reality is that's a bad approach. You need to look at marketing at a whole other level and realize that there's a lot of potential relationships, and you can use that platform to get businesses out there, get a lot of people involved, and that's where a lot of these people. I think have failed, and I'm learning things, and I missed out on a lot of money just because, I don't have the experience. I don't have a degree in marketing, but I'm trying, and I'm slowly figuring it out, and I think that, we're going to continue to grow, and I think we're going to, get better at things, and things are going to get easier, and I think it's going to become a bigger and bigger event every time.
Yeah, I mean, I think, you may not have a degree in marketing, but you definitely have the common sense approach. I'm not going to name names, but I was in an event where, like, the general admission was $45. Are you fucking kidding me? $45? What? Like, come on now. Who's going to come see that, especially when there's so much MMA out there. How are you going to charge $45 to get in?
Well, and you look at this, it's like, look, to have a successful event, it seems like, man, you got to have, like, the college kids there. You got to have them. And we got Sinclair, which is a community college downtown. We got UD, which is a private school. and then we got Wright State, which is I think it's a state school. And you know, if you can approach some of those students, there's no reason why you can't sell, you know, a bunch of tickets. But the college students don't have $35 for a ticket. They might be able to squeeze out $20. So that was the thing is, you know, I wanted to go after that demographic of the young people because I think that's who's really into MMA right now. So I mean, that was the thing is let's get some people. Let's keep our ticket prices low. And let's get more people there and try to sell more tickets. That was my thought process. It made sense to me, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Let's talk about the card itself. You've got a lot of local guys there, a lot of good fights lined up. A trap a lot of people fall into, or you know, they maybe mismatch the ticket seller against you know, an easy fight. But on paper, man, all these fights are even.
Yeah, they are, and you know, I gotta tell you, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Rob Walker, but he's actually he's a good friend of mine. He's a guy in Dayton, and he actually put on a couple promotions a while ago, and he was the one that he worked out of the Dayton Convention Center, and he, you know, so I kind of, you know, I respected him and you know, his advice and stuff. And he was talking about how his shows and cards were always evenly matched up. He never had a boxer versus a collegiate wrestler. You know, I mean, things like that don't make sense. Why would you do that? And if you look at the card and who I've got, I mean, everything's even. There's no gimmies. And the reality is too, is that, you know, as a coach, I got a lot of guys on from my gym, you know, debuting and you know, they're pretty green and stuff. But I mean, the reality is, if you know, feed all your, you know, if you give your guys all easy opponents, you're not building them up. You're just cheating them. So I mean, now's the time to learn. Now's the time to, you know, to get better. I mean, that's my thought process. I mean, let's have good even fights and let's put on a good show for the fans and let's test people and see where they're at.
You know, not looking past Saturday because you've got that uphill climb to get to with your first event, and you know, all the ins and outs that you'll get to learn firsthand. But you know, if in a perfect world everything goes well, how often do you see yourself coming back and trying to put on a show there?
Well, I mean, you know, arrogant Rob, which I was a little more arrogant probably a month ago. Arrogant Rob would have been like, yeah, I want a pro-am in December. And I'm still thinking that that's a good possibility, but it's like I said, it's all about, you know, what kind of you know, resources, what kind of energy, you know, what can I do? And a lot of that has to do with how you know, the outcome of this weekend, you know. If we sell some tickets and do what we got to do and everything seems to be a success and you know, I think I'd like to get a little more aggressive. I'd like to put on a pro-am, you know, here soon because honestly, my heart is not just with the amateurs. My heart's with these professionals and that have been doing this for as long as I have, and they need to be getting paid. And that's what I mean. You know, some of these guys I know are getting older, and they don't have that much time. They need to either do something now or you know, move on. And it's you know, that's where my heart's at. That's what I want to do. I want to get pro-am events, and and that's what I want to do. I want to do amateurs and professionals, and I'd like to be aggressive with it as soon as December. But like I said, everything depends on how successful everything goes this weekend. But I feel pretty good about it. But I'll feel a lot better after weigh-ins.
The big question is, when will we see you fight again? And if the opportunity presents itself, would you fight on your own show?
You know, I don't. That's not really my goal, and I don't think that's probably a good idea for me. I'm kind of the all-in or all-out guy, and right now my focus is the show, but I definitely would like to fight. You know, soon. If something came up, if right after the show, you know, I had if I had 7 weeks to prepare for a fight, I would probably do that, and then maybe do an event, you know, within a month. It's just crazy. It's all about timing. It's all about you know, what the universe presents itself. But I feel like if I do the next right thing, if I'm, you know, have an open heart, I have an open mind, and I'm, you know, doing what I got to do, I feel like things happen for a reason. So, all I have to do is just try to be honest, try to, be the best person I can be, and I feel like things are going to work itself out. But right now I can only focus on the event, and I do have a lot of aspirations for my own self and my own career and stuff, but this is bigger than just me. This is promoting MMA.
Absolutely. Well, some of the guys that are in the know on the Ohio scene, they're very excited for the show. I know Chuck Wells was talking about the event. Our good friend David McKinney, who I think is going to be commentating, he's excited to be there. Man, I hope it is everything that you want out of it. I know you've put in a lot of hard work, and it, trust me, it's not going unnoticed. When you see these custom banners go out and you see the actual promotion side of it coming from a guy who knows what it's like, who's been in the trenches, I think it'll mean a lot to these fighters and mean a lot to the fans. Before I let you go, though, we're gonna talk to a couple more guys from the card here. Before I let you go, I know that you, even though you may want to take credit, I don't know, I don't think you would, but there's been a lot of people that have helped you. You've got a good support system up there, and a great group of fighters that are going to come out and perform on Saturday. Give you a chance to throw some shout-outs, some thank yous, and give that one last push to tell our listeners why they should come to the Dayton Convention Center on Saturday.
Well, and one thing I got to give a lot of credit to is, I'm not the one carrying the promoter's license, so I got to clarify that. My dad, Robert W. Hanna III, he's the actual promoter, so he's dealing with the the government and the Ohio Athletic Commission, and he's the one that really did what I couldn't do. I don't think I would have been able to do what all they needed as far as the coverages, the insurance, the bonds. It's a whole another business, and you got to really know what you're doing, to handle all that. And so he's actually the promoter. But with that being said, I got to having him as my partner and backing. He's I couldn't do it without him. But I want to thank Johnny the Furnace Man. I want to thank Octagon MMA. I want to thank all the people at my gym. I want to thank all the people that have been supporting me, all the coaches that were involved, Boggs, and I hate thanking people because I'll forget people, but Vision's a big part of this card. Vision North, which is Joe Miller, and there's so many different people a part of this card, and I know I'm forgetting people, so. But I wish I was a little more prepared, man. But I appreciate everybody, and like I said, it's a humbling experience because there are marketing people involved. There are a lot of local businesses involved. You wouldn't believe who's all involved. But we got a lot of good press coming, and Saturday we're doing our weigh-ins and our photo shoot, and Mike Rebel's coming out and shooting the guys again, so we're going to have plenty of that material in content for later. And then we got Mike Moran's coming out with his TV production team, and so we're excited, man. We're doing everything we can do to put on the best event for the city, and it's going to be a great time, man. We got hot ring girls, we got live events, and everything's going to be legit. So I'm pretty excited about it, and I know that fans are going to get what they deserve, which is a good show. And like you said, man, the matches are evenly matched up, and we also got we got a pretty decent sized cage, so you're going to see some guys, some footwork. You're going to see some striking, and that's, I think, a lot of promotions don't always get to utilize a big cage. We got a 36-foot hexagon, so it's going to look like a UFC cage, man. There's room to work, and you're going to see it all. You're going to see boxing, kickboxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. You're going to see some grappling. You're going to see it all. So I'm excited, and I hope you guys can make it.
Well, man, with this one more thing, will this you're shooting it? Will this be live streamed somewhere? Go Fight Live or something like that?
No, I didn't feel comfortable. We had that option, but I didn't feel comfortable doing that. We were probably going to do something Go Fight Live, but not this time. But I don't know if you guys are familiar with what's going on with Mike Moran and I can't think of Ryan Kavanaugh, but they're doing that TV show now on Time Warner, and I think they're going to take some of the footage, the top 4 fights, and air that on their show here sometime in the near future. So. And that's what I told these fighters. I said, man, you guys put on a good fight, man. There's a good chance you're going to be on TV. So that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely, man. Rob, I appreciate the time. I do appreciate your efforts. I think, with your passion, everything that's going on, you and your dad and the whole crew will be able to get this and bring it back to Dayton, man. I remember some good shows up in Dayton. You guys can be the flagship once again. Don't pull all your hair out. Get lots of rest. Turn your phone off every now and again. Have some you time, and it'll be Saturday before you know it, brother.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate you guys spreading the word, man. You guys are doing a good job over there at Bluegrass, and we appreciate you.
There you guys go. Rob Hanna, Elite Fighting Series #1 this Saturday night, Dayton Convention Center. Boom, shalakalak, boom. That's how it goes down. Juan will be there. We're back to our full head-out coverage. James Pfeiffer was supposed to be on. He's maybe he'll call in here in just a second. He's ignoring Juan's call. It's okay. It happens. People ignore us. But Juan, what's up, baby? Are you excited? I know. Go ahead.
The only people who ignore us are people who are banned from Bluegrass MMA Live for life.
I know Ariel's rules 2 strikes you're out or something like that. He banned Ben Folks for a while, and he's had some people that have not answered his call.
We should institute the same policy, except for let's take it a little bit more extreme and say 1 call. If you don't answer 1 time.
Wait, let's take it the second ring of the first call.
Yes. If you don't answer by then, you're done. You're blacklisted.
You've heard from Rob. We're looking at the card. And that's one of the things that I noticed. I'll be the first to say I'm not as up to speed with my Ohio fighters as, say, you are or David McKinney. But on paper, these are some very evenly matched fights.
Oh, absolutely. A lot of them, are basically kind of fighters starting out. So it's going to be good to see them getting the exposure. I haven't seen a lot of the guys fight before that are fighting out the card. So I'm kind of excited to see the next crop of fighters, so to say, and kind of see where we're heading as a region. And I guess more specifically, the Western Ohio fighters are coming along. So I'm really excited for it.
That's the thing, and I really wasn't trying to prod to be disrespectful to guys like Mike Pat or Kerry Shaw's doing a hell of a job. You know that at Turf Wars, he's kind of stuck to Northern Kentucky. He's not ran ice up there in 2 years, maybe 3 years. But that was a place, early on in Bluegrass MMA, there was always shows in Dayton. And it's been well over a year that there's nothing been there. But, we've seen the shows in Cincinnati. They're gone. And we're seeing promotions struggle to fill fight cards, struggle to even get their events off the ground. And to see somebody wanting to step into that kind of atmosphere is, I'm a pessimistic person, but I think that's awesome that they have that confidence. And, Rob Hanna, undefeated pro, he's a fucking killer, dude. He's good at what he does. And
absolutely. I
expect it translates.
And I honestly think that him being a professional fighter, him being undefeated, is going to drive a lot of credibility to him and his promotion. And he understands what fighters go through, so he can speak that language to them, unlike promoters who have never set foot inside of a gym, let alone a cage. So I think he brings that aspect to it that will set him apart if he continues doing this. Because like you said earlier, matchmaking sucks, and hopefully he'll find a matchmaker here, soon, so he doesn't have to worry about that. He can focus on the business side of the promotion. But no, I'm excited, and I'm really hoping that the promotion does well, because it is nice to have another promotion in my own backyard. I can just head up right up the street to instead of having to travel, 4.5 hours like I did this past weekend.
Yeah, I don't have that luxury anymore. I don't have anything close.
Well, that's kind of unfortunate when you it's a byproduct of living in the sticks. So
Aaron Garrett's trying to talk to me. He knows I'm trying to talk to you.
Hey, tell Aaron to either call in or stop typing. And yes, I know you're listening, so I don't know why I directed that towards you. I should have been like, Aaron, just call.
Gotta say, appreciate everybody for coming back. Maybe you thought we fell off. Maybe we slipped up. No, it's good. It's good to have a break.
It is. It felt great to get away, and I'm almost kind of thinking we should institute a because summer is our light down season per se. I'm thinking maybe we institute a summer break every year. I think that would be kind of nice.
We've had some great shows this summer, though, for real.
This has been an exception. We have had some phenomenal shows. Yes,
but
I'll agree with that.
They're sprinkled, right? They're kind of sprinkled in.
Right.
So.
And August was kind of light, to be honest. There wasn't many shows in August altogether.
But we had that one weekend where it was fucking amazing. Like, more traffic than we could handle. Well, I take that back.
Yeah.
We could handle a lot more traffic.
Speaking of traffic, your boy never got back to me. I'm a little upset about that.
Oh, Jack?
Yeah, never wrote back.
He might be listening.
I'm heartbroken. If you're listening, Jack, I'm heartbroken. You better email me back. You get 24 hours. Otherwise, I'm coming down to hellhole, Tennessee, wherever you're from, wherever you live.
A side note, we are in Juan and I, David McKinney, Aaron Garrett. A lot of us are in a MMA fantasy football league. Juan, how are you doing so far in fantasy football?
I'm happy with my progress. I'm very happy.
It's safe to say I defeated Juan on Sunday to go to 2-0. Juan, how many games have you won now?
So many, I can't keep track of them. I'd have to pull up a calculator, add it all together.
Aaron Garrett, how many games have you won in our fantasy league?
Oh, I think I'm 2-0.
Ooh.
Yep. Beating Juan the first week.
Hey, all I got to say is there's plenty of weeks ahead. Things will change. No team has gone undefeated, so you have to high horse.
At least I don't have a wife beater on my team.
Oh, that's cold.
Hey,
who's got Adrian Peterson?
I don't know. I feel sorry for him though. But he's reinstated, so not too bad.
Yeah, but that's still a shitstorm of controversy.
All I gotta say is he's going to appeal the suspension. He's gonna get back in. He's gonna be good.
Not suspended. He's reinstated.
No, not
I'm talking about
Ray Rice.
Yeah.
He couldn't play for a high school team right now in disguise. Toxic.
Yeah.
Aaron Garrett, what are you listening to? Jesus Christ!
Yeah.
Can't you turn the TV down?
Not that loud, is it?
Yes, it's very loud.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. My kids were watching something. I'm not watching nothing.
10:30. Put the women and children to bed.
They are in bed.
You're a responsible adult. But don't be too responsible like AP. That's taking it too far. Don't be much of.
Don't be hitting them with switches, son. Hitting them with switches. Brennan Witcher's going to join us in about 6 minutes. He's on the card. What are you going to do this weekend, Aaron? You going anywhere? Or are you usually out and about?
DJing a homecoming.
And then you're with me to EFS?
Then he's going to Jamaica.
No, next week I'm going to Jamaica.
Oh, so Aaron's coming. All right, so, hey, we need to work this out right now. Gary, can you go to Surf Force?
On October 4th?
Yes.
Probably.
Because I'm thinking that me and Aaron can go to NAAFS.
I'll be all right. Yeah,
and this is the plan, Aaron. Aaron, this is a plan. I'm going to drive up to your house. I'm going to ride with you to Cleveland.
Okay.
God.
I know that is the day I come back from Jamaica, so. I come back the 3rd, but we should be fine.
Whoa, is the wife going to let you out?
Yes.
He's not married.
Allegedly.
He's common law marriage. NAAFS, Juan and I talked about it today. It's a great card, man.
Oh, yeah, I'm in love with that card.
Did you say you're in love with that card?
I am.
It's pretty good. Charlie Stanford versus Cody Garbrandt. some good fights on that card. That card in West Virginia, it's a lot of guys that I like to watch fight. Wes Lane's a beast,
Dude, honestly, I haven't even looked at the card. I don't know who's on it.
Pretty good, man. It's pretty good. Kimbo Slice is going to be there.
That's one reason why I want to go.
Next week we'll get to talk with
Kimbo
Chris
Slice?
Smith. I don't know. Maybe we get Chris to hook us up with Kimbo. I don't really know what I'd ask Kimbo. We've been doing Kimbo.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
You get to meet he gets to meet Scott Shealy finally.
I'm going to try to steal his phone.
Wait, why is Shealy going to be there?
We have a fighter on there.
You got a mouse in your pocket?
Hey, I got him on the card.
Who? Who's on the card?
Mike Windmer.
So, all right, dude. All right. Go to MMA.tv, mixedmartialarts.com. Look at the fight card. Look at Jerry Hackney's profile picture on there.
They didn't approve him. The commissioner didn't approve him.
It's because of that picture. That is freaking hilarious. Oh my god. That's the best one hands down I've ever seen.
Couple minutes. Well, are we gonna do Knights of the Cage tonight? What do we call it?
Knights of the Cage, KOTC.
That's too much like King of the Cage. I gotta download something to record it with then, don't I?
Yeah, Grant, we've never had one episode actually live on the internet anywhere.
Oh yeah, you go to Live Sportscaster. I've got 2 of them up there.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
The last time I checked, you haven't updated that since June. But that was about a month ago.
There's one of them on there.
I think everyone's certain. Did I tell you I went to a boxing fight on Saturday?
Man, I'm turning into I feel like a boxing aficionado.
It's just too boring. I can't do it.
It is. I will say it is kind of boring. But I kind of like that.
We haven't talked in a few weeks to our listeners.
Let's save some of this. We got like a minute before.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I am mad at you guys. You guys did a story on RFO, and I'm not in it.
I didn't do that.
I'm fighting that night.
That was David McKinney.
Hey, just so you know, Gary approves all articles, so blame Gary.
What's this say?
And honestly, David did have you in there, but then he came to me for approval, and I was like, take his ass out. I don't want any affiliation with a guy named Aaron Garrett.
Juan's too middle of the road. He doesn't like. He's very vanilla when it comes to his reporting. All right, let's get Brennan Witcher on the phone. Wrap this show up. Aaron, I need you in the next 20 minutes. Find us a thread of the week.
All right. I'll
That's your
try.
job. You got 20 minutes. Find us a good thread.
Have fun.
All right. Juan is going to get Mr. Witcher on the phone. Aaron Garrett's going to find us a thing. Remember, audible.com. 1 free audiobook, 30 free days of Audible service. Listen, I wouldn't tell you if I didn't use it myself. I took advantage of our own offer. Download it. I've got the app on my phone. Plug in the headphones. There you go. Hundreds of thousands of audiobooks, stand-up comedy, lots of good stuff. If you travel as much as I do, 2 or 3 hours to an event, some weekends I've got a 6-hour round trip. Get you a good audiobook, find you a good podcast to subscribe to. It's all there on audible.com. audibletrial.com/pro MMA now. Remember, 1 free book and 30 free days of service. Also, head over to onnit.com. That's ONNIT.com. Get yourself some Alpha Brain. Get that lucid dreaming going. They've got Strong Bone. They've got New Mood. I tried the omega-3 like fish oil gummy bears because the other ones give me a bad taste in my mouth. But they just come out with a new line of werewolf kettlebells. They've got battle ropes. They've got steel maces, whatever. Enter promo code BluegrassMMA, save 10% off any and all supplements. And now we've come to our final guest of the night. He fights this Saturday night in Dayton, Mr. Brennan Witcher. Brennan, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, thank you so much for taking the time out to join us.
Hey, no problem.
Big fight coming up this Saturday night in Dayton, and it's been a minute since you've been in the cage. How excited are you to make your return Saturday?
Honestly, man, yeah, it's been almost a year, I think, man. And I feel good. I'm pretty excited about it. You know, I got a chance to heal all my injuries and, you know, get everything straightened up in my life, so I'm ready to go.
You came out like a cannonball on the scene. In 2013, you were one of the most active fighters in the area. I mean, you were fighting damn near every month for a good stretch there. Was that, looking back on that, was that a good idea or a bad idea?
I mean, honestly, man, I have no regrets. I mean, other than, you know, I could have been trained a little better. You know, me and my buddy Nick, we started off, you know, in our garage just training, saying, hey, man, I'm going to do this whole MMA thing. And, you know, when you fight your first fight and you get a 19-second knockout, you know, it just makes you hungry. It makes you think you can just do way better with training, you know.
Where are you training at now?
Right now I'm training full-time with Rob Hanna at EFS MMA.
Do you feel any pressure because, you know, this is his show, he's going to make it, you know, trying to make a splash there in Dayton, and you get to be one of the featured fighters on the card?
Yeah, man, honestly, I used to get nervous, man, in fights, and, you know, and I used to be the whole pressure thing, you know, but now I just feel I'm in a comfortable place, you know, with my family, with my girlfriend, and, you know, honestly, man, I have no pressure. Rob, he's an amazing dude. He's been there, done that, you know. He's undefeated as a pro, and I guess the only pressure would be is to show up, you know. You always want to have all this hype, but you want to live up to the hype.
You're one of those guys, man, you know, and I saw several of your fights when you first came out. You just come out, you were so explosive. You found a rough patch when, as the fight would go on, you lost a couple decisions there. What's some of the biggest things that you switched up or that you've decided to focus on heading into this fight Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know, there was a couple fights I shouldn't have took. You know, I took weak notice fights, and I just enjoyed to do it. I guess now, you know, the difference between me then and me, you know, I matured as a fighter. I used to be just one-dimensionally going in there trying to break your face, and now I'm, you know, more of I used to, you know, I kind of worried about their game plans, and now, you know, you got to realize if a game plan doesn't work, you know, what happens next. So I kind of just go in there and I focus on me, you know, and I just, you know, worry about what I'm going to do, how I react to every situation. I was just a striker before, and, you know, now I'm well-rounded, you know, so.
Yeah, but you're such a good striker, man. That's the thing. It's hard to get away from, you know, especially when you have success at one thing. Do you find it's hard to kind of get away from that to showcase the more well-rounded style you have? Because let's face it, man, I've seen you brutalize some guys, and it's been exciting.
Yeah, man. I mean, if you're so good at one thing, you know, it's still not gonna make you the best fighter you can be. You know, honestly, you got to work on the things you're not good at. You know, I fought Division I wrestlers, guys that just come in there, and that's how you beat a striker is you take them down and you lay on them. You know, the only way to beat me is either you lay on me or you run away. So, and I had to change that. I had to change that attitude. Now I feel like there's no way to beat me. You're not going to go in there. You're not going to put me on my butt, and you're definitely not going to outstrike me. It's just how I feel.
You say you got started with your friend Nick in his garage. What led you to that? Were you what was your background before that? Had you had any like martial arts experience, or was it just something you thought you would like to try?
Honestly, man, I had zero experience. You know, I was coming, you know, out of high school. You know, I played college football, and once that all went to drain, I got a big injury, and then there was nothing else I could do but sit there and watch the UFC. It was just getting popular. My first ever UFC fight I seen was Chuck Liddell versus Tito Ortiz. You know, and then just how hyped they were, how the crowd was, you know, how hyped the crowd was. You know, watching that fight, I just always figured, you know, I can do that. You know, I just like putting on a show for people.
What's the biggest difference in that guy that debuted last February to the guy that's going to make his appearance this Saturday night at the convention center?
I guess the biggest difference now is, at first it was a question, you know, is this for me, or, you know, or am I going to be good at this, or am I just going to come in here and miserably, you know, fail? I think now it's, you know, I just want to show everybody my talent, man. I am such a I'm such an odd fighter, I guess you could put it like that. You know, I have so many different skills, and I'll try different things, from flying knees to running off the cage, from, you know, just whatever I can think of in my head, I'm going to try it. So, I mean, it's September 20th, you know, Saturday night. It's going to be an explosive, crazy fight.
When you started training with Rob, you know, he's been so successful as a professional. You know, he's got big wins in Bellator. What's the biggest thing that you take away from your training with him and just being around a guy like Rob Hanna?
What I call Rob Hanna, man, he was my wake-up call, all right? I had no idea who Rob was, you know, because I was, you know, more just worried about the UFC. I didn't really think about amateur fighting or even, you know, local professional fights. But, you know, just Rob is a big wake-up call. I go in there as a cocky striker, and I go in there and I spar against Rob, and he's got me on my butt for, you know, 40 minutes just beating me up. You know, I never want to do that again. If Rob, you know, if I can get up from Rob Hanna takedown, or if I can sit there, you know, take a punishment from Rob, there is not one amateur fighter on this scene that's going to do that to me.
You know, you've, like you said, it's been almost a year back in it on Saturday. Not looking past your fight Saturday, but how active do you want to be the rest of the year, and what has changed as far as the thought process into taking a fight now?
I think now it's more so I gotta take the smart fights, and, you know, I gotta really, you know, what's gonna make me stick out. I can't keep fighting, you know, people who you know, who have barely any fights, or I have to take a fight that's gonna make me move forward, not just, you know, put somebody out on a, you know, a little low budget show. I mean, this is a big deal. Rob's known everywhere, and trust me, I'm not looking past my opponent, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna finish him.
What do you know? I mean, do you train specifically for your opponent now, or do you let Rob and the coaches kind of take care of that, or is it more about just focusing on you and kind of bringing up your weaknesses and capitalizing on your strengths?
Yeah, I mean, you said it there. You know, pretty much you can't. I said it before. You cannot train for just, you know, one strategy. You can't go in there. What if that strategy does not work? I mean, let's be honest. What if I go in there and say I'm going to go shoot and take this guy down, and he stuffs every takedown? What happens? Am I not ready to be on my feet? Am I not? You know what I'm saying? I'm training to be ready for every situation. There's no such thing as a bad situation for me in a fight. I'm gonna know what I'm gonna know what to do in every situation. Honestly, man, I'm ready to go. I mean, Rob and them, they do a good job of breaking down, breaking down fight tape and stuff like that. But he's only had 2 fights, you know, and the guys he's fought, I'm not gonna put them down, but I'm not gonna say they were the best, you know. So he's going to really know when he looks across the cage and he sees somebody just ready as go as he is, it's going to be a fun fight, you know. And he likes to push forward, you know, and that's the problem. When you try to push forward against somebody like me, you're going to get hurt. You know, I'm going to be right there in his face the whole fight.
You know, you fought in, like, abandoned high school gyms. I think that your first fight, I was there for your first fight, and it was in pretty rough place. You know what I'm saying? It was just... And now you fought, you know, you fought at Roctagon, you fought in some bigger shows and, of course, the smaller shows. But, you know, Dayton's been kind of void of MMA for a while. You get to be a part of that resurgence. How excited are you to get to do it at the convention center, get to do it there with teammates, and especially having Rob trying to be successful and put on the show? I mean, does it make it more special, I guess is my question, knowing everything that's behind it and some of the places that you've been before?
Yeah, man. I mean, I have to admit, you know, I knew what I was getting myself into when I took my first couple of fights. I mean, like you said, I was in a old high school gym, you know, with the lights barely hanging. But nothing against them. You know, Rick Seals was a great promoter, but it's nothing like being at home. You know, but I'm 0-2 at home. You know, I'll be honest with you. I haven't had good success, but I haven't really had too many people behind me other than my coaches. But now, you know, my entire family's going to be there. My beautiful wife, Molly, she's going to be there, and I'm ready to go, man. You know, and being at home, getting to put on a show, it's going to be great. It's going to be explosive. But honestly, right now, I'm just ready to eat, man. I'm starving.
That's one thing that's a little different in Ohio. You got to weigh in the day of, right? That sucks.
Oh, man. Yeah, dude, it's terrible, you know. I mean, I love Ohio, but, you know, trying to rehydrate for, you know, 4 hours later, you got to fight. It just sucks.
Well, you know, not to put you on the spot, but, you know, you've had success early. You've had some struggles early. You know, a lot of people, as they inch closer to that 10 fights as an amateur, they start thinking about their professional career. Is that something that you're looking forward to pursue in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I you know, I've had four or five unsanctioned fights before I even, you know, have had my amateur career, you know. And then, you know, I've taken some fights I really shouldn't have taken. You know, I've taken fights that guys, they tell themselves they're not going to take. Like, who wants to fight Brandon Kaiser? That guy goes in there, he's a stone-cold wrestler, and I'm a striker, and I took the fight just for the hell of it. Man, I am ready to go. Like, I'm, you know, it's crazy, dude. I'm one nuts fighter, dude. You're going to see it.
Well, the fight is this Saturday night at the Dayton Convention Center, Elite Fighting Series 1. Man, I'm happy to see you back in there. I'm a fan. I've got to see you fight all over the place. Before I let you go, though, I want to give you a chance to give any shout-outs, any thank yous, anything you want to throw out there to the listeners.
All right, yeah, I mean, for sure, man. First, I want to give a shout-out to Rob Hanna. Obviously, it's his first ever promotion, you know, and if anybody that's going to hear this, I want you guys to be there to support Rob, not only me, to support my teammates. A lot of them, it's their first time fighting. You know, be there. You might have a new favorite fighter if you get, you know, if you show up. Also, I want to give a shout-out, you know, just to all of my, you know, all the support from my friends and my family. And, you know, to be honest with you, I wouldn't be fighting today if it wasn't for my wife, Molly. I mean, she literally has me on track and literally has me focused, not just in the MMA game, but in life. So, and when you come across a fighter who just really knows what they want to do, I mean, they're dangerous, man. So my heart's 100% into this, and I'm ready to go. Saturday, September 20th, be there.
After nearly a year, he returns, man. Brendan Witcher, have fun. Hope you get to eat something nice after the fight or in between weigh-ins in the fight. We will be there Saturday. Until then, take care, my man, and we'll see you on Saturday.
Awesome, brother. I'll be there.
There you guys go. Brendan Witcher, this Saturday night, makes his return. It's going to be awesome. I got to admit, I'm a little excited about that show. It'll be here before you know it. That
will be. It's going to be interesting to go to the Dayton Convention Center.
Have you ever been there before?
Negative. I have not. Although I'm kind of imagining it's going to be like a Bluegrass Brawl in a hall of the arena. I imagine it's going to be like that type of. Actually, perfect example. XFC down in Louisville.
Yeah.
That's what I'm kind of imagining.
Is it that big of a place? I mean, obviously I'm not familiar with it, but
I'm not familiar with it either. I would imagine probably not as big because obviously Louisville's a bigger city, so it commands a bigger convention center.
Louisville, that's the International Convention Center in Louisville.
Yeah, because they couldn't take Kentucky because nobody would come.
It's
pretty big to go there.
We were on the second floor, the second floor of the convention center for that fight.
Yeah, we were. But most convention centers have 2 floors. So
don't forget to head over to BluegrassMMA.com, get up to date on everything that's going on. We've got some videos from HFC. If they're not up to your liking or your standards, blame Juan. Did you shoot him on an iPad?
So what I did at first, I trained it from my phone. Because, all right, so let me give you a little backstory. So on my way up to Valparaiso, I downloaded Hyperlapse, which if you have an iOS device, you know what I'm talking about more than likely. It's a real cool app. If you haven't downloaded it, download it. But Hyperlapse, it basically takes your camera, it speeds everything up, so it's like a fast forward. And so I did that on my way up to Valparaiso. I sat on the dashboard and I recorded a little bit of my drive. And it didn't turn out like – so on phones, you got to turn your phone sideways in order to capture widescreen and not portrait mode, in which you see a lot on World Star Hip Hop. If you're familiar with that website, you know what I'm talking about. With that being said, when I recorded on the iPad, it went into portrait mode, and I wasn't sure how I should turn the iPad because I don't really use an Apple products that much.
When did you get an iPad?
I've had it for a few months now. I don't ever use it because I hate it because you got to be on Wi-Fi to really use it.
Yeah.
So if you're not on Wi-Fi, to me, it's freaking pointless. I can do everything on my phone at that point. So anyways, I wasn't sure. So I went back to using my phone to record the videos, and all I have is an 8 gig SD card in my phone, and I was getting to the point where I was about to run out of room. So in between the second and third round of the Chris Curtis fight, main event, I switched from my phone to the iPad. So you'll notice a difference in quality between rounds 1 and 2 and 3 of the Muhammad Curtis fight, if you paid that much attention. But yes, that was to answer your question, Gary. I did use an iPad for a little bit. The majority of the recording was
the longest fucking answer for no more than a yes or no than I could have ever imagined.
Hey, I'm sorry. I'm trying to, create some friendly dialogue here and not just be. I don't want to be one of those interviewees who give you, I'm going to win this weekend.
Yes, no.
We
are going to do some predictions this weekend on some of the fights. So look for that. We're going to take 5 fights from the cards we're going to cover this weekend. We're going to make our predictions on them. So if you're a fighter, check that out. Maybe we're saying, we think he's going to win, or no, we think they're going to lose. Maybe it's motivation. Maybe it's assurance. We don't know.
But see, how I'm going to do my picks, I'm in the middle of the road. I'm going to say Gina Begley's got a good chance of winning, but we never know.
But you just never know.
Yep. That's going to be all my picks.
This Saturday, we've got a big weekend. Next Saturday, Charleston. The week after that, Turf Wars. The week after that is Coliseum Combat. The week after that, Bluegrass Brawl. Jesus, people, we are on a rampage heading into November. November, you've got Pinnacle. You've got IT Fight Series back in Columbus. Huge main event as Dan Spawn returns to the local scene. Shit. Don't stop, baby. Keeps rolling. And it's all housed right there on the mothership, BluegrassMMA.com. We're about out of time. We're going to record another podcast right after this since we're back in the flow. We might just go all night long. Who knows? But remember, Audible.com, free trial, free audiobook. The link is in the description of the show. Banktown Fightwear, Intimidation Clothing, huge supporters of us. And a real quick shout out to Dustin Davis's family. Dustin Davis is a guy who I got to know, Juan got to know. He worked the cage. He took a fight. He worked the cage for Hard Rock MMA. They called him Swamp Donkey, one of the only people to ever ask me to be in a picture with him. He lost his life this last Saturday in a car accident. So our thoughts go out to his family and his child. And he was a great guy and a huge supporter of the site. So he will be missed. Next week we'll be back with all things Ohio Valley mixed martial arts and beyond. I'm Gary. That's Juan. You heard from a lot of great guests. Aaron Garrett stopped by. Until next Tuesday night, we gone.
You've been listening to the Ohio Valley's #1 source for MMA, broadcasting on the ProMMANow.com radio network. Brought to you by Bangtown Fightwear, Bluegrass MMA Live. Join your host, Juan Valley and Gary Thomas again for Bluegrass MMA Live. And remember, fighters first, fans always.